Okay, so here's an interesting one that we have for you. We're going to do a de-stall. This is both paint and vinyl. As you can see here, the name is in paint. If I zoom in for you, you can actually see the brush strokes where it's chipping, fading, coming off. So we're going to de-install some paint in the name. But then their hailing port, if I come down here, North port, is in vinyl. So you're going to have to get to see two things today, which is great. You're going to see the de-installation of paint and the de-installation of vinyl. Now I'm going to come over here and show you all of the things that you're going to need.
For the paint, wait.
So, for the paint, you're going to need Easy Off Oven Cleaner.
The heavy duty kind.
The heavy duty kind. You're going to need, it's very caustic, so, which means it's very toxic. You're going to want heavy duty rubber gloves. We also recommend that you wear a mask. And also you can get yourself a little scrubby pad. Hold on, I'm in the shadow here. Like a little scouring pad. You can use some white vinegar.
Yes.
You're going to need this compound. Now, what you're going to do is get everything out of the way. You want to lift your canvases out of the way. And here's how this is going to go. Actually, I'm going to, all right, creating a little shadow there, but it's okay. You're just going to take the Easy Off and you're going to spray it on quite liberally. Here, you know, there's a little shadow. We've got some sun and stuff. But as you can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. She's just really spraying it on quite liberally on top of the lettering itself. And all she's going to do is allow that to sit. It's going to start bubbling up.
About 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes. And then at that point, simply just going to hose it off. So we're going to have to wait for some elapsed time here. Now we'll move down to the vinyl. Hold on, we got to grab, now I'm going to tell you what we need for the vinyl. Simply a heat gun or a hair dryer. We use a heat gun. It's really not that scary. You're not going to do any damage to your hull or anything because really just not going to hold it on there that long because your hands are going to be in the way and you're not going to burn your hands. Can use a hair dryer. Either one. If you don't have a hair gun, a hair dryer will work just fine. Obviously, if you're working around water, be careful not to allow your cords to fall into the water. Obviously, you don't want to electrocute yourself. You're simply going to, as you see, she's just heating up the vinyl. Take the squeegee, you heat, and you squeegee. And then you're just going to pick it off. Really that simple. You heat.
Sometimes they're a little trickier. This is an easy one.
I like to tell people it's like if you've ever tried to pick a label off of a box. Sometimes it comes off in one shot. Sometimes they're a pain in the neck and you got to pick at them. And it's really kind of like that. It's hit or miss. You never know what you're going to get. This happens to be a simple one. We're heating it. It's coming off in one piece. Sometimes you heat them and you just got to pick at them piece by piece. So you're getting the instructional video of a simple one. You're heating, you're catching the end with the squeegee, and then you're peeling it off. Again, not to hold the hair dryer or the heat gun in one area too long. You're simply just heating up the letters. This is a simple one. If you happen to get one of those ones where you're picking at it piece by piece, we don't really have any tricks for those. We go through the same thing.
We do. We have a trick for that. We do have a trick for that.
We do? What's our trick for that?
The trick is
With the squeegee,
With a couple of different
you
strips.
just continue scraping.
Scraping.
So you won't be able to pick off, but you heat and you just really just scrape with the soft, with the squeegee.
We also have a 3M striping stripper. It looks like a giant rubber eraser that you could put on the end of a cordless drill or hand drill, and it rubs it right off. And that's when the letters are in really, really bad shape and they're just cracked and impossible to pick or scrape. That's the last scenario.
You would just continue using the scraper. You might not be able to peel it off the way I was doing all the others.
Correct.
Just keep the heat moving. You never want to keep it in one spot. You don't want to burn your hands. You don't want to burn the gel.
Correct.
Now for the glue, the leftover glue that's on here.
You're just going to go back with the acetone.
No,
correct?
turtle wax.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Makes a great product. You'll see how nice this works in a second.
Kind of hard to see that.
Free advertising for turtle wax.
If you guys can't see that right now, after this video, it's a glare from the sun. I will go back in the better lighting and zoom in. Hopefully you can see that. If not, I'll go back. And while they finish this, I'm just going to come back up for a second to the paint and let you see how that's doing. As you can see, it's bubbling up. Coming along nicely. Come back down here. You see how there's just like some adhesive residue left behind. You just spray that turtle wax adhesive remover on there. And then you take your squeegee and you just scrape it around on there.
You see it's so soft. Go back to the good old acetone.
And you see on the squeegee how the adhesive has come off onto the squeegee. Really great product. Now she's using the acetone on the rag again to just clean off the adhesive remover.
Whoops.
Just watch your hand up top, man. Sure.
Schmeary.
Yeah.
Good. Nice and clean.
Now we're going to take everything off the boat because we're going to blast
Okay.
this with the hose.
Now remove all your stuff. Make sure you've got your electrical stuff off of the boat. If you were doing the two-part deinstall, you don't want to have any electrical equipment remaining behind because we're going to use water to get that easy off oven cleaner off that we used on the painted portion of the lettering. And we're just turning the water on. And here we go. And as I mentioned before, some may remain behind, and that's really just going to have to do this maybe in 2 or 3 steps. Okay, so now we're back to the paint. We left that easy easy-off oven cleaner on for a half an hour because we had to go do another lettering install. So we're going to turn the water back on and see how it is.
Look at that. You just have to wait.
Look at
You
that.
have to be
Yeah, you have to
patient.
wait. For some of them, you have to wait. So you see how it's just rinsing right off? Now I have to use a little scouring pad again. But you see the pressure of the water is basically taking that off. But just for some of the remnants, you may have to just scour it a little bit.
And then we'll get the compound out, right?
And then we'll get the compound out. Exactly.
But look what happens.
But look, beautiful. Coming right off. So it's all about time and patience with some of these things. Let me change my angle here.
Put the water in the water. Okay.
Now that was just a little bit of compound. They're scrubbing with those scouring pads. We just use this compound. I'm sure you can use any. This is what we choose. And they just squirt a little on there. And they're scouring away. Also, we will go down to where we took off that vinyl down at the bottom, and we'll use a little bit of the compound down there as well.
When you lift,
Yes, now they're lifting the trunk hatch. Because when it was painted, the painter lifted and painted inside the trunk hatch. So if you have that situation as well, you may have to go back and spray some Easy Off inside the trunk hatch or inside on the side of the door,
you use some more? I need some Easy Off.
what have you.
Question is,
Okay, so now that we've gotten all of it off, we're gonna hose it down, get all the compound off, get all of the Easy Off cleaner off of the boat,
okay.
get a nice clean area for our installation. Then we're going to use the white vinegar. In case you have any fading, the white vinegar is just like a simple chemistry process. It will immediately lift any yellowing that was on the hull
From the Easy Off.
from the Easy Off. It reacts with the chemical process and it just brings it right back to the natural color of the gel coat. And there you have it. It's beautiful.
Ready for the lettering.
Now you'll clean it down with some acetone again.
Compound around.
Just to make sure that it's nice and clean, there's nothing left behind, because you really do want a very clean area when you're applying this lettering. You don't want anything left behind, even the littlest speck of salt. You want that off of there. And if you weren't de-stalling anything and you were just going on an area that had nothing there, you still want to clean the hull with some acetone because you want to remove any wax or anything that was on there, any salt from the boat. So you always want to start with a clean rag and some acetone to clean down the area.
Lift it, lift the hatch. Now this is wet, so we will not hold the lettering right on the boat because I don't want to get this paper
Yes, you
wet
don't want
onto
to
the
get
lettering.
your wax backing wet because then it will stick to the lettering.
Hold on for a second.
But you're going to start with your grease pencil You're going to make your marks. Find your center. Now we're working with a windy day. This is where this step becomes very, very important. You're going to peel back that paper. You're going to spray the Rapid Tack right on the sticky part of the lettering. You're going to use your hand and smear that around, because you see what happens? That lettering just flipped up like that, but because they had the Rapid Tack on there, it did not stick to itself. That was a very key element in the installation process. Had they not had that Rapid Tack spray on there, that lettering would have been ruined. It would have stuck to itself and it would have been ruined. So you want to get that Rapid Tack spray on there immediately. It temporarily stops it from sticking. Here's another great thing that you guys are going to get to see. You see how, if you could just step back for 1 sec so I can show them. You see how the lettering goes over the hatch? Not a problem. You measure it out, make sure you have it straight where you want it to be. Lined up, you found your center, you found your measurements from the top down as they're doing. Now, you get yourself a sharp blade, an X-Acto knife or something. You see how they're going.
See how that red line is? I think I need to maybe move up a hair.
You see how they're going over those little handles for the door. They're measuring it out. They're making sure they have it all straight. That Rapid Tack allows them to lift it up and move it as many times as they need to, because they sprayed it nice and liberally on it. They have it where they want it. You put a hand on there when you're squeegeeing it so it doesn't slide and move around. Squeegeeing it out. It's pushing all the Rapid Tack out of there. It's getting rid of all the air bubbles. That's what they're doing. They're squeegeeing it out. Then you're going to see the next trick that we're going to teach you in this tutorial. When your lettering extends over the trunk hatch, you see how it's going? I'm going to zoom in and show you guys. It's going over
There and here.
the slit
Get yourself a nice blade.
of the trunk hatch. You get yourself a nice sharp blade or X-Acto knife. And you see how she's slicing right down. She's cutting through those letters. And you're thinking, that can't be done. Yes, it can. And then you just use the squeegee to push those letters in.
Blade, please.
Now
Scalpel.
she's doing it on the other side. Wait, you're in the way. Step to the side so they can see your magic at work. Slicing right through those letters. Use your squeegee. Push it in. You're letting that dry. Again,
We're gonna let it sit.
depending on the temperature of where you are. Some of you are in warmer climates. It's going to dry a lot faster. Some of you are in colder climates. It's going to take longer to dry. I can't stress that enough. You have to let it dry, because if you go to peel back that tape and the letters lift, that's not a problem. It just means you need to let it dry longer. That's all that means, guys. Push it back down, squeegee it down, walk away, and let it dry longer, and then come back. So while that's drying, we're moving down. They're going to put the hailing port on.
We're making marks on the old, we could see the old fade. So we're making it right on the old fade.
Right. Now in this instance, you can see, I don't know if you can see it in this video because the sun is glaring on it, but we can see it here. You can see where the old hailing port was. Again, they're peeling back, spraying that Rapid Tack right on there. So it's a nice, whether it's windy or not, you're spraying that Rapid Tack on here, but we happen to have a windy day. Now you're going to put the hailing port right over where the other one was. So it's covering it right up. Moving it around, making sure that they're straight and lined up.
Great.
Got it perfect. Measuring it out just to check their measurements once more. Squeegee it out, pushing out all that Rapid Tack spray, pushing out your air bubbles.
Oh, there it is.
Right, now you spray a little bit over the top. That's going to make it easier for that paper to come off.
Did you see that?
And look, see how it's happening here? She's peeling it off. It's coming up a little bit. Not a big deal. She just pushes it down, squeegees it a little bit more.
And you should just wait for it to dry.
And you just wait for it to dry. Over here on this side, let me get a better angle.
Let me just lift this up. Sync up. Television audience. Take this off so you can see how I can come around this latch. When it's dry, this will be stuck better. I am just speeding up the process for the sake of the camera. So
Right,
this should be completely dry and stuck down there. You don't want to really have to manipulate it as I am doing, but I'm just doing it for the sake of time. You can see how now we take that nice sharp blade along with the help of our squeegee and trim
Right, you just push that
right around the
blade
latches.
right around the latch. Let the latch and the blade do the work for you. You just push the blade right around the
You need a
latch.
sharp blade, obviously.
Sharp blade is your friend, because it'll just, and then you just use your squeegee and work it right in there. Push it in, use the blade, cut right around.
I'm sorry, I want to zoom into this again.
Okay.
Because
Move back
this
up
is
here.
sticking, but this is not. Does that mean that that gray is not as sticky as the navy? It
No,
just
that's
didn't
not
dry
what that
yet.
means. It just means that the bigger piece dried faster. Or it just
squeegee it back
means it's a
down.
matter of drying time.
Wait for it to
Does
dry.
not mean there is anything wrong with any piece of that lettering. It simply means one thing dried faster than the other. Maybe it had more liquid under it, maybe it was colder. Don't know. Just means it needs to dry faster, longer. That's all. You can go back over it very gently with the squeegee if you'd like. Find any air bubbles, anything. And over here, she's doing the same thing on this side, letting the sharp blade move around that latch. And then push it down with the squeegee right into the area,
Let's show the open.
and it fits right around the latch.
Now,
So
we're going to
these
show
things
you
are
how to
pretty
do the
simple.
latch. How to do this, what happens in here after
Inside
we
of the
cut it.
groove.
Will you lift this? Lift, and then you could tuck.
So you saw that, right? All they did was they lifted up the door, and they're using their fingers, they're smoothing it right into the area, pushing it out.
Take a look at that side.
And let me come around the other side so you can
Nice
see what they're
looks.
doing around the door. Same thing.
How nice that looks.
Hold on a second, I gotta try and find it. Yeah. Okay, here we are. You lifted the door. All you did was just smooth it down around the edge. So you think that was so hard? Not at all. It's so simple. You applied it, you slice it, wait a little bit for it to dry, you lift the door, you smooth it around the edges of the door. Let me come around to the other side of the door. Smooth it around that side of the door. On the insides of the doors. And now when we put that door down, it's going to look perfect. Can we just put that door down? Okay, so now you see we put the door down. Look how amazing that looks. Looks beautiful. do the lettering, when you have to slice it to make it fit over a door, when you have to cut around to make it go over latches.
As a rag, the acetone on it to take off the
And then
markings, and we're done.
you just use acetone on a rag to get your grease pencil marks off. Let me zoom out. Joanne, just step back a second so they can see the whole name with the hailing port.